Okay, so guys, Kukua is just warming up. Midway into the show, you guys will find out why Kukua is here today and why she's going to help us co-host most of our segments. And this is what to expect from this side.
Val, do you know your blood group?
Yes, I do.
And do you know there are certain things that are peculiar to every blood group?
Yes.
So you will find out more about that in the health check segment of the show this morning. We are looking at blood groups, what the various blood groups are, and what they mean for your health overall. So what does it mean for your diet? What does it mean for diseases that you may be prone to? You want to stick and stay for that one. And the prop is still here, but we'll go over to Dr. Kofi Osei Kusi for our wisdom nugget, and hopefully by the time we return from that one about let's empower the youth, CAF will be empowered to join this conversation. We'll be back. Stay with us.
It's a good morning to you. I'm always very excited and very humbled to serve you the wisdom nugget for the day. And nugget a day keeps all the problems away. Our nugget today is let's empower the youth. Let's empower the youth. You know, we talk about the fact that the youth are the future. We talk about it all the time. And I think sometimes we only do just half of what we should do as far as empowering the youth for the future. And I respect the views of other people as well, which is the fact that the youth are not just the future, but the youth are also the today. And we need to all collectively think about how can we invest in young people, because investing in young people is the best thing that any nation can do. And when you look at Africa, Africa today has the world's highest youth population, and Africa will continue to grow because we have a lot of young people. And that is not only an asset. If we don't do that, we're actually sitting on a time bomb. We're sitting on a tremendous brewing crazy amount of crime and incredible, horrible things that could happen if we don't invest in the youth. Whenever we talk about investing in the youth, I think our attention is largely on government alone. Look, we're calling on government to do its part. But more importantly, every one of us has a duty to invest in young people. Teachers have a tremendous duty to invest in the young people that they teach in school. Hospitals have a tremendous duty to concentrate on younger people and to see, I mean, everyone, but especially younger people, and, you know, securing their health and what have you. Parents, more importantly, have a duty in raising young people who are responsible. You know, divorce and single homes and so on and so forth have a negative impact on raising young people. So all of us collectively do have an important duty to invest in young people. What I'm challenging you today is that today, please join me and join many other people who are investing in young people. Let's pour out into them. How can we do that? We can mentor young people. We can, you know, take young people in, and we can counsel young people. We can sponsor some of them through school. We can help create jobs and do things that helps better the well-being of younger people. You are not too far away and you're not too small to make an impact in the life of young people. Today, our wisdom nugget has been, let's together invest in young people. They are not just the future, but they are the today. And if we don't seriously look at that, we're sitting on a terrible time bomb that will affect generations. I know you hear me right, and I know there's a young person in your life that you can contribute in helping to invest in this person to help make the world and to help make the country a better place. Enjoy your day as you go out there thinking about all the young people around you and helping to invest in them. Have a blessed day.
Thanks for staying on, and we're doing social media trends. So a lot of the things that trend on Monday mornings are found, guys, that it has to do with sports. And today is no different. Of course, you've mentioned what a goal. I'm sure you're referencing Kylian Mbappe's massive strike that scored France's second goal in that beautiful match. But the other thing that's trending is Fury and Wilder. And I know some Tyson Fury fans who have not let me get any sleep because wow, what a match, what a fight it was. I'm sure none of you stayed up to watch it.
No. I saw except for the, you know, my stance on boxing, and plus he was bleeding. Oh.
Yeah. They matched him up badly.
It's heavyweight boxing. I mean, by definition.
No, I don't. No. How do you watch? How do you sit down and watch somebody being like, you know, back to back? Kukwa, do you watch boxing? You don't want to watch it, do you?
Why not? Why don't you like
boxing?
It's scary and not good.
It's scary and not good. I stand with you here. I mean, I can't see somebody being boxed like that. That's bleeding.
Scary and not good, eh?
Yeah.
What's your favorite sport?
My favorite sport is swimming.
Swimming? Oh, okay, yeah. We've got something in common there. I like to swim as well. I know Valerie cannot swim.
To save her life.
Depends on what you define by swimming, but hey, let's not go with my definition. Or standing at the shallow end of the pool with the water where I can see it with my 2 eyes.
So back to the boxing now. Fury and Wilder. Who did you want to win?
I mean, 2 great boxers. I was expecting to see a great boxing match.
Who
Stayed up half the
to
night.
Win?
I'm an AJ girl, so I don't know what you're asking because you're not even a boxing fan.
Who tell you that?
So, because you would have stayed up. This is arguably the biggest fight in heavyweight history.
I'm a fan of sleep.
Yes. So if you didn't stay up to watch this and showed up to church the morning after with, you know, bags under your eyes.
These guys ain't no Zuma, man. Please.
and both fighters landed on the canvas multiple times during the course of the 11-round fight. But it was the Gypsy King who won the night. And did you see the entrance? I mean, you didn't watch it. Like one was dressed, like the Gypsy King was dressed like some
Roman gladiator.
And this man had like a whole skull theme going on with his mask. And Wilder is a great boxer. It hurts to see him being inflicted with such pain, but I know that he give as much as he got. He got more, but he gave as much as he could as well. So
they still get paid, man, for being beaten up.
Two great.
Yeah, regardless.
They still get paid for being beaten up.
I think so. But
two great boxers.
How's boxing doing here, Ghana? Like, do we have frequent boxing bouts?
Well, you see, I drive by the arena, and on weekends you see like quite busy, and of course we had an Olympic bronze medalist in the form of Samuel Techi a couple of months ago. So I guess boxing is big. If you're in Bukom, we shouldn't even be asking this question because boxing is massive there. I mean, that's the home of boxing in Ghana. Whether we are at that level, I don't know. But as she said, it's scary and what?
Not good.
It's scary and not good. So for a lot of
hopefully you change the not good when you're a bit older.
Okay, so let's put the not good in quote aside and then think of something good. The Black Stars beat Zimbabwe 3-1 and we were all in a meltdown. Yeah. The match was telecast live on GTV Sports, like GTV Sports Plus. Okay, GTV Sports Plus. The legends live here. We showed the matches.
We were the only ones who were showing the match.
Somebody went there, found trouble. You people, please.
Who was in one of the matches?
Please. So all I'm saying is GTV Sports Plus showed the game.
Big ups to
it saw Milovan, Rivaches boys clinching 3 points with 3 goals. And as they head into the second leg, I believe sometime tomorrow, then we are in a good lead. Can we say comfortable lead? So this puts us back into the game, and hopefully we'll win the second leg, and then we'll be good to go. So Black Stars, yay! We're excited.
Go Black Stars.
Milovan has done it. Is it impressive enough? Are the players playing at their optimum? I don't want to ask who was your man of the match, Charlie. That question, please.
Kuka, did you watch the game? No. You don't like football too? But who watched that one?
Daddy.
Daddy watched
the
game. How do you know?
Because when I woke up, He was talking about.
He was talking
He was
about
talking about it. Was he excited?
Yes.
Do you know any Black Star players?
Yes, please.
Really? How many do you know?
3.
Mention their names.
Jordan.
Say that again. Jordan.
Of
course.
Dede.
Jordan and Dede.
Yeah, you
Okay.
And Asamoah.
Asamoah.
That's all.
Brandy, they matter.
Captain General.
There were
Captain
too many
at
bad
large.
puns. Too many bad puns over the weekend. It was
The
just.
party after party.
They say CK messed the Black Stars up, but Milo made the team a corner again. Kudos to the players. We can now partay in peace because Yempedede biya. Hey, got too many bad, awful puns. I also created one. If you can't beat them, join them. So let me give you my own. My own was.
So there's some. Milk is not my favorite beverage.
This is. I think this is my favorite.
Then look at the name, Dr. Aigbe Bola Baby.
Bola Bede.
You have to give it to Twitter. There's some interesting stuff on there. So Black Stars was trending over the weekend because, well-deserved win. We're excited. I mean, if you're Zimbabwean, then you might not like it very much.
There's one that's been circled. I don't think it should.
This matter. There's the one circled in red.
Well, we just give big ups to Sports Plus. We're not here to be
Sports Plus.
Yeah.
Sports Plus showed the game. Okay, that's all we are saying. All we are saying is GTV Sports Plus is the #1 go-to sports channel for any Black Stars match, for any Ghana match.
And it will happen again tomorrow when we play the return match in Zimbabwe.
Me, I don't want talking it.
Charlie, it is a savage world in the world of Twitter and Facebook, man.
Twitter,
they will say if your matter ends up there.
Yeah. So Facebook is a bit more bougie, but Twitter is for the streets. If you survive on Twitter, it's you have a tough skin. Yeah,
it's a tough world on Twitter, isn't it?
Right.
And if you don't take care, you'll be trending. Not always for the good reason. Another win for Ghana music, perhaps. Can I say the song "Stress"? The gospel musician extraordinaire, one of my all-time favorites. We need her on the yellow couch, Diana Hamilton.
She will come.
Apart from her amazing, sensational talent, her fashion sense is always on point, and she did not disappoint over the weekend when she showed up at the Ghana Music Awards UK, where she won Artist of the Year.
She has her own clothing line.
Wow.
Yes, she has her own clothing line. So
for mommy, how dress is
so for my she's
a minister of the gospel. That's what I mean by so for my. It's like her fashion sense is on point, but her music, Eradeye, her latest, is just doing amazing. Okay. I'm not surprised at all that she won this.
I'm not. Let me go through some of the winners.
Yep.
So UK-based gospel song of the year went to Adansidi Minister Kofi Nyako. Okay. He won that. And then UK-based Afrobeats, Afro-pop artist of the year went to Reggie Mbole. And then Uncovered Artist of the Year went to Wona For Real. Hajia For Real won an award, guys. Hey. Uncovered Artist of the Year.
Yeah, she's a musician now?
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
Really?
She has like 2-3 music videos. Yeah,
really?
Yeah, I'll send you a link to it.
So,
go ahead, for real.
Look, can I say go Akwabua? Like
can I please finish my list for the people who
all that they are there? You are coming there.
And then they're always fighting like that.
UK-based High Life Song of the Year is Bisa Nyame Davidson Band. UK-based Worship Song of the Year, Cornerstone Ruth Appiaje is the winner. And then Songwriter of the Year, Fameye Songwriter of the Year. Best Video of the Year, Miracle by Wilmna featuring Minister Igwe. And then UK-based Best Mainstream Act of the Year, Eddie One. Hip Life Hip Hop Artist of the Year, Medical. That's a win for Tema. Anyway. And then Hip Life Song of the Year, Postime Akwabwa T. You can get to talk about Akwabwa now. Hip Life Song of the Year, No Darling, Keche featuring Kwame Eugene. Gospel Artist of the Year, Diana Hamilton winner. Gospel Song of the Year, Adum, Diana Hamilton again. And then Ghanaian Traditional Cultural Act, Wiyala, guys. Wiyala. And then Best Collaboration of the Year, Ekoso. You guys, the list goes back to back. Oh, and then High Life Artist of the Year again, Akwabwa won that.
And Sinaso won Female Vocalist of the Year. Like,
okay, so I'm jumping
like
to the
all my
reggae dancehall song of the
one
year. One Dawn. That's Shatawale.
Yeah.
One Dawn.
When you put your finger up there like that.
And then Afrobeats, Afropop song of the year, Forever by Jackie.
Okay.
Mr. Drew won Afrobeats, Afropop artist of the year.
Okay.
Reggae dancehall artist of the year went to Stoneboy. He won. Male vocalist of the year, Kiddy. Female vocalist of the year, Sina So. And so, male vocalist, Kiddy. Female, Sina So. You know that thing that there's this thing going on that they are going on. Do you know Sina So?
No.
Do you know Sina So? Do you know any of her songs? Not yet. She's
She sang Ghana Songs Beautiful.
okay, so you know that. Okay, do you know Kiddy? You know Kiddy? Do you know any of his songs?
No, but my sister knows.
Your sister.
What does your sister know? Which song does your sister
Your
know?
sister has been summoned to the
Your big
breakfast
sister.
table.
Your big sister.
Younger sister.
Your younger sister. What's her name?
Asida.
Asida.
Good
Hey,
morning.
Asida. Good morning.
Which of her songs?
Which of the songs?
Does she know?
She likes singing Say Cheese.
Say
cheese. Take a
She
picture.
like, but you don't like
Take a
singing
post,
that.
make a seat, take a picture.
What's your favorite song, Kukwa?
My favorite song is Onward Christian Soldiers.
Oh, Christians. Oh, let's have you do it small.
Roll the
Okay,
drums.
Kaf and I will join you. Kaf. Let's go, let's go, girl.
Onward
Christian soldiers marching us to war. Words. With the cross of Jesus
You see?
going on before primary school, Charlie. Christ the loyal master
He's against
the foes forward into battle.
You see his borders go.
Oh,
You're just waiting for
I didn't have to stand up for this one because this one, it was a marching song. No, we used to stand up and then we used to go and then you have to hear Shall I sing the song? Onward Christian
Give him a song.
No, guys.
marching
All this
us to
laughing should
war.
be
At the
illegal,
end.
seriously.
With the cross of Jesus going on. You understand? Shall I not be small? Bema Camp Complex.
And the thing,
1983-year group.
1983, where were you, Valerie?
None of you were born.
Kaf.
None of you.
Today's the day of girls.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's back to being a prop. Look, it's the way you give the marching orders right now. It's the same way some people think some George gave some CNN journalists some marching orders over the weekend. And Twitter was this LGBTQ and they are saying member.
So one thing, I mean, Sam George did his homework.
Okay.
Kaf, you're allowed to speak now.
The girl children now want you to speak. So you do whatever we tell you to do.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm your toy now. I'm your toy.
You can join the conversation.
Yeah, well, you see, there are two rules in any media interview. Doesn't matter whether you are a guest or a host. Number one, the first rule is always be prepared. The second rule is refer to rule number one. Simple. Sam was prepared, Larry was not. And Sam just wiped the floor with him. Big time. You know, big
You think
time.
he did?
Completely.
I think that
Larry
has...
say he shouldn't call himself a Kenyan again.
But Larry was doing the bidding of the program.
Larry
And
was reading the
you
teleprompter. He was not asking intelligent questions. He was just reading the teleprompter.
At the end of the day, it tells you that when you are a presenter,
you have to be prepared.
Apart from being prepared, sometimes there's a mission, and the mission of the program what's the vision of the breakfast show. We have a certain aim, and the producer have put that vision into your hands, and you have to deliver it, whether you end up looking good or bad. You have to deliver the
He was
mission.
mentioning things that were not there. You know, he was just not ready.
What did he mention that was not there?
He said you get 10 years for this, and then some doctor corrected him and said, "My brother, read your things. You know, get
and he
prepared."
came back to ask, so if 10 years is a bit much, but 5 years is just perfect. I mean, only as people and their names. I'm a Ghanaian, and not everyone hates gays. And there's nothing shameful about his answers. He's doing what his people have asked. Ghanaians have a voice, and many of us don't endorse LGBTQI. He said LGBTQI was part of the major issues, not the only issue.
Exactly.
Stop misquoting. Ole out.
Sam was ready.
So this one
why
is
is Ole out
replying
doing
to Larry. Larry, you really pushed the issue here, but he matched your every attempt. Calling him hateful was a bit low. He was clear that his constituents instructed him to move in the direction that he did. Then mentioning his kids suggested that your line of questioning had failed. I mean, leave the children out of it. In any online argument, in any interview. And you see, I don't like to mention people's names, but Sam George tweeted this. The interview was conducted in English. You should have gotten a professional interpreter to help you understand it.
Well, Sam George is being touted as Twitter's clapback king.
Twitter's clapback king?
Yes.
Okay.
And if you read his tweets and go through his Twitter feed, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't know your business, don't go near Sam George. That's his own. If you're ready, come. If you're not, stay where you are.
Day your day. So these are some of the things that we have noticed, we've monitored across social media over the weekend. There's so much more, but we'll just leave it here. And then we'll get ready to have that sit down on blood groups and what it means for your health. You need to stick and stay. The hashtag is GTV Breakfast. Follow us on our social media handles and join the conversations there. Also join the conversation on our WhatsApp number 0555 61034. You can also tell us what you think about all that we've discussed. And it's International Day of the Girl Child today. We are celebrating all of us who are girl children, girl women, girl everything. So power to you. We'll be back.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show. Yo, Magadune and Yagadune, no be here crowd.
Undernourished, making them more vulnerable to disease and early death? How safe are the youth understanding the natural changes happening in their bodies? It's time to enable positive dialogue. Join us on YOLO Talk and let's get interactive as we discuss smart decision making on each selected episode of your favorite youthful TV series, YOLO, with professionals and some of the actors live on GTV. YOLO Talk, making smart choices. YOLO, hey, you only live once. YOLO Talk is a GBC UNICEF partnership.
Across Africa, nations are beginning to trade among themselves like never before, creating the largest continental market the world has ever seen. On the Single African Market Program, we will show you how products, services, capital and people will be crossing barriers as the continent and its citizens embrace a single market in a sustainable manner for growth and development to meet targeted UN development goals.
Congratulations, Your Excellency.
Agriculture, manufacturing, aviation, maritime, mining, energy, tourism, technology and telecommunication, formal and informal trading, education, health, legal justice, financial
The woman see the grace or something. Why you come buy what you 20? See the price 60 cedis.
You want to surprise me with a car, and then you ask me for 7,000 Ghana cedis.
Bible say, "Obasia."
Are you guys not the Are you guys not the guys who work at the airport?
Smart Game, a series directed and produced by Angie Michael, showing soon on GTV. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Thanks for staying on. It's your health check on GTV Breakfast. Remember, we are partnered by Awake Mineral Water, Shoulder Credit Paint, and Adonko Next Level Energy Drink. And there's a code that gives you a bonus to play so many more virtual games, and it's with mybet.africa. And you can play games so that you will not be bored. Keep busy while you're at home. You join mybet.africa.com, enter the bonus code GTV for a chance to play so many games. So there's virtual soccer, MyBet League, spin to win, drops and wins, and other exciting games. You get 100% money back guarantee for the first lost bet that you after making a deposit. So join the truly Ghanaian home of betting, mybet.africa, the home of betting. It's my health check, your health check as well, and we are talking about blood groups. We know that knowing the correct blood group of any person is key to transfusions, and if that is wrong, if there's a mistake doing that, then there are going to be serious complications. But apart from that, why else do you need to know your blood group? It's crucial to save your life. And we have in the studio Dr. Gershon Sena-Sekle. He is a medical research fellow and also CEO of G2 Medical Laboratory Services. G2 Medical Laboratory Services, Kanda 37 and other locations. He's here, medical research fellow, to talk to us about why we need to know our blood groups. Dr. Gershon, good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
So when we think about blood groups, the first thing that comes to mind is blood donations.
Yeah.
And so we know that, like we said in the intro, if that is wrong, the complications could be very serious. Tell us about some of those.
Yeah, blood group, let me calm down. When you talk about blood group, you are talking about the name of blood, the type of blood we have. We have blood group A, we have the B, we have the O, we have the AB. And apart from that, we have charges on them. We call the rhesus factor. We have positive and negative. So it could be blood group A positive for blood group A negative, B positive for negative, blood AB positive for negative, blood group O negative or positive. It's very important for all of us to know our blood group, because at times we may get into a situation where we need a quick information to really do an transfusion on an individual, or even you donating to an individual who is in danger of getting blood for any medical condition.
So this A group, A positive, and then B group positives and negatives and O's positive, what do the different distinctions mean? Why is blood group A different from blood group B, and why can there not be cross transfusion?
One blood, yeah. When you talk about blood group A, B, and O, they are all different in itself. You cannot have, for instance, if I'm blood group A, I cannot take on a blood group B. When somebody is O, you cannot take blood group A or B. Meaning that if you look at on the screen, we have all this blood group. On the surface of the red cells, we have proteins we call antigen. You understand? So in this case, if you are blood group A, it means that on the surface of the cells, we have an antigen of A. Just we have antigen of B, antigen of O on the surface of the red cells. But inside, we have another protein we call antibodies. So if you have A antigen on the surface, we have, B as antibodies inside. So it's the vice versa. So it's very important because the protein on the surface of the cells reacts differently. So you cannot box all together and say all is a blood group or just the name of the blood. You need distinction. When it comes to transfusion, it's also very, very, very important. You cannot take maybe somebody with blood group A, you are giving to blood group A positive, you are giving to blood group A negative. There's going to be serious complication. There could be a clot or in the arteries or the things that are receiving the blood for an individual. So that is how it is. So if you take blood group, it's a very serious issues over there. And anybody that is, transfusing a patient must be very, very careful. The one doing the checking must be very careful. The one even transfusing also must be very careful. Know that I'm giving, if my patient is on ward, or I'm transfusing a patient, if the patient is blood group A positive, I'm either giving a blood group A positive. Other than that, I'll run into trouble. Okay. You come to another condition, you hear people saying that I'm an universal donor, I'm an universal recipient. They are all very, very important when it comes to blood group. For instance, if you are a clinician, you are having a patient with maybe blood group A positive, and you don't have the same match as blood group A positive, you may find an alternative. If you pick blood group O positive, you can just give the patient. If you have blood group O negative, that we tell them to be universal donors. It means that they can go to every corner.
The O negatives.
The O negatives. They are the serious universal donors. Because when you look at their proteins, they can fit into any other blood type of hair.
I've read a few articles that have suggested that even the type of foods we eat should take into consideration what our blood groups are. Yeah. Is that true? And can you give us some examples?
Yes. If I'm talking from a research base, you see, we all have different types of proteins. Proteins react when there is an allergy. You understand? So it doesn't matter. I've read a lot of times, if you are blood group O positive, you are not supposed to take tomatoes. Somebody have taken tomatoes all over
their
the
lives
years.
And nothing has happened.
Nothing has happened. When we are talking about reaction, we are talking about a different thing. Protein play a role when it comes to allergic reactions.
But so not necessarily
not
the
necessarily
type of
the type of blood
eat.
group, not necessarily for the blood group, not necessarily the type of food we eat.
Okay.
Somebody can even take groundnut to react. They tell you when you are blood group O positive, you are not supposed to take groundnut. Somebody will take it, will not react. They say when you are blood group A positive, you can take groundnut. Somebody will take groundnut, you react. We are talking about reaction over here, allergic reaction. So at times we confuse ourselves, and if we don't take time, a lot of people are going to live and eat things that they are not supposed to eat, and they will deprive themselves of certain type of food they are supposed to eat to keep the body going. So it's very, very important for us to really look at these two different. If you box the two together, we are going to confuse the population.
So it's a misconception that is not as wide as
so let us put research into it. What are the medical data that support this assertion? I look at medical data that support this assertion, and we've done few work which does not support this assertion. What we realized was that most of it is due to purely allergy.
Right. Does blood group, or should your blood type influence your choice of partner? So if you're A or B or O, negative or positive, should that affect who you decide to have children with?
At all. It never. It shouldn't alter the type of person you do. You can be blood group O negative, you can marry A positive. Any person goes. Where it matters most is when we are talking about sickle cells. That one we need to be very careful. As for blood group, where at times we have to be very, careful is that if you are a mother, a woman, and you are carrying a negative rhesus, that one you have to be very, very careful. I'll take time to explain this. When you say rhesus, positive versus negative, apart from the protein, like we have the A, B, and the rest on the surface of the cells. We have an additional one. So let me break it in just like the charges. Either we have a rhesus or another protein called a rhesus, whether you have it or you don't have it. When you have it, we say it is positive. When you don't have it, it's negative, means you don't have it. So when you are in the negative type of rhesus, as a mother, you must be very, very careful. It matters most when it comes to pregnancy. Now, your first pregnancy, if you are negative rhesus, your first pregnancy, the body will take it as a normal, process. You go through the normal process. But your second and the subsequent pregnancies, you must be very careful. Because when you are negative, the body will view your first pregnancy as a threat to the body. So when you take your second seed, the body has already produced something called antibodies, and that one will go and attack the baby. That one will result into most of cases we call the miscarriages and the rest. And if you have it, at the end of the day, the baby come out with some complications and the rest. You understand? We have something called the entire jaundice and the rest. So we need to be very careful if you are O negative patient. What we have seen is that there are some people who have suffered certain conditions like miscarriages with their first pregnancy and the rest. When they go for the second one, it happens. The third one happens. We need to do a kind of investigation into that area and see whether the mother, who is a negative rhesus, has started producing an antibodies. If he's producing antibodies, there's another injection we can give to the mother to keep the antibody that's formed to attack the baby away so that the baby can come out without any defect.
Okay, so blood groups playing a key part in even the health of pregnancies,
yes,
from what you're saying.
Yes, please.
And these are correctable?
Yeah, they are all correctable. You see, that's why when you are pregnant, we ask you to attend the antenatal. When you attend the antenatal and this thing is identified, we really take a second step for you to be monitored very well and make sure you go through your processes very well. You see, this is very, very important. You see, at times we attach spiritual connotations to certain things, but if you look at it, we realize, because I realized there was an issue we handled some time ago, and what happened was that the person had an abortion before, then subsequently everybody ignored the blood type the person was having, and realized subsequently was having miscarriages. I say, hey, let's just look at the rhesus factor. We realized that it was in the negative range. So we have to do the antibody screening.
So this person had spent a lot of time thinking that the miscarriages were a result of the abortion?
No, he didn't know.
Okay.
And those people also didn't know, because when you take a seed as a negative person, the body will start producing antibodies.
So this is for the O negatives?
Not O, the negatives.
So
A negative, the B negative, AB negative, and the O negative.
So anyone who is in this bracket,
yes,
anytime there's a pregnancy, they need to get that help.
Exactly.
Okay, so I hope that you're listening, and you can join the conversation on our WhatsApp line 05555 We are talking about blood types and blood groups, and we are talking about some of the things you need to be aware of considering what type of blood you have or what group of blood you belong to. Here's a question that says, good morning, please, what is the blood group of ARHD positive?
ARHD positive. It means, you see, the rhesus factor D. So it's telling us. So when you look at blood group, we are doing two things. We are doing the name of the blood and the charges is carrying on.
Okay.
So when you say blood group A, the RH is the rhesus factor I'm talking about.
Okay.
So is that rhesus factor positive? So in the layman language is A positive.
Okay. So ARHD positive is A positive, is what the good
so
doctor
that's
is
how
saying.
we are supposed to report it medically.
Okay. Good morning. I just heard from the doctor that O negative is a universal donor.
Yeah.
Are you also a universal recipient? My wife is O negative, Kibana from Kaswa. Thank you for sending us that message.
So if you are O negative universal donor, you cannot take from any other person. You have to take from O negative. So that means if you are O negative, they are very rare. You can't get it. When you are O negative, let us pray that we get O negative patient to really. So that person that is talking that the wife is O negative, you cannot receive from any other person.
Apart from an O
negative person, yeah.
So then who are the universal recipients then? Are they universal recipients?
Yeah, we have the universal recipients. If you are AB positive, you can receive from A because there's an A there. The B you can receive from B. You can receive from O. You understand? So you can receive from O negative, O positive. You understand? When you're AB positive, you are universal recipient.
Okay, so AB positive, universal recipient. But there are OB negatives. They are not.
AB negative, no. You can only take from O negative.
Okay.
Either B negative, A negative.
Right.
Let us be very careful. The negative is very, very, very important, because if you dare give somebody with a charge with A negative a positive, there's going to be serious complications.
Okay, I want us to look at the complications a bit further. Let me make a note of it. I want to read a few more of your comments because your questions are important. Good morning, Honorable. Now I'm honorable. Thank you for that. In fact, you're empowering our mindset this morning with this blood group education. Ghana of late is learning thanks to GTV, but what I do know is blood type O's don't take pork, and this is generally true. You didn't tell us where you're sending us the message from, but thank you for the message. So blood type O, they don't take pork, and it's what I was alluding to earlier, that there's a misconception that persons of certain blood groups do not eat certain kinds of food.
For me, I've never seen some. I've never come across any data, medical data that says so. You see, when you go on the internet, you can have a lot of, propositions, but the question is that, has it been validated? You must be very careful. Even medical research have to be validated before published. So if you don't validate your findings, because when your finding comes, we have to go behind the scene and also validate with other research work and see whether whatever you are saying is very true.
There's a question here about whether blood type affects fertility.
Not really, because still blood type cannot affect.
Do you stand a better chance of getting pregnant if you have a certain blood type?
Yes, all blood type you are likely to get pregnant. You see,
does one type of blood group give you more edge over another?
No, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it affects the health of the pregnancy if the negatives and positives are placed. That's for the resource factor.
Yes, exactly.
All right. So now the complications that you mentioned, let's talk about a few of them. Someone is saying, Isaac, Thelma, ask the doctor for me. Is he saying that eating according to your blood group, I presume you said doesn't matter, because I tried it with all the suggested foods and I think it works. So the food bit is getting quite a lot of traction. Good morning, doctor. Please, from what you are saying about the negative pregnancies, I want to know if both of them are negatives. Will it affect the baby? I'm Samson. So something is asking if both partners have a negative blood type.
The mother and the husband, or
yes. So I presume it's both partners.
Yeah.
So the mother and the father, if they are both something negative, does it affect the baby?
It will only affect the baby if the baby assumes a positive rhesus in there.
Okay.
You see, let us get something over. Let me explain again.
Quickly.
When you are a negative mother, your first pregnancy, the body view it as a threat.
Okay.
To
so that's
system.
why you need the support from the health team.
Once you get a threat, there's something called antibodies. The antibodies will form. So the next pregnancy, they will go and attack it. That's the major thing.
Okay, let's quickly talk about the complications of it. Quickly take us through what the complications will be if you get the wrong.
You may have reactions. You can have your blood being hemolyzed, means they are breaking down. Then at times this also can lead to death of a particular individual.
Okay.
You understand? Yeah.
Are certain blood groups more prone to certain diseases?
Yeah, we are. The research is still on.
Okay.
Because as I'm talking to you now, behind the scene, there are research going on with this COVID thing, seeing that because currently what has come out is that there's other in hypothesis that blood group A and B are susceptible to COVID-19, while O are not. But that research is still going on until it's finished before we can come out with a full data and validation before we can just do the publication.
I wish we had more time though. We'll just end the conversation here. But blood donation is one of the reasons why you're here, and you want to call on more people to donate. And just 30 seconds, tell us why we should bother.
Yeah, we should all donate because blood is very important. And maybe there's somebody in the hospital who needs blood to survive. There are other emergency cases where we need to transfer somebody with blood. So all you have to do is that all up there. There's no panic when you go and donate. When you donate, you are rather saving a life. And when you are, donating, I think the system takes care of you in the future when you also need a blood, for relative or yourself. So it's very, very important for us to go in and do the blood donation.
If we had more time, I would have asked a few follow-up questions on how to prepare to even donate blood, how often we can, what categories of people should not donate blood, but we've run out of time. I'm sure we'll have you back here to have a part 2 of this conversation. Thank you so much for sending your questions through to us. We've been talking to Dr. Gershon Senasekli. He is a medical research fellow and CEO of G2 Medical Laboratory Services. So look up G2 Medical Laboratory Services on internet. You'll find their details there and get in touch with the good doctor if you have any questions, and we'll get his number and give that to you also a bit later on in the program. And if you've enjoyed this part of the breakfast table, then you know that the other part will be quite enjoyable for you as well. Valerie is standing by to engage the team on the field to find out where there's traffic and where there's not. Breakfast on GTV. We'll be back.
Good morning. Welcome to this side. So we are looking at traffic situation across ports in the capital, and we are connecting with my colleague Jay now. Jay is around the airport intersection area, and Jay is on our screens. Jay, good morning. What can you report? I see heavy build-up of traffic behind you. What's happening?
All right, so thank you so much, Valerie. Good morning, everyone. Welcome once again. It's still hashtag GTV Breakfast. It's time now for Rush Hour, where we bring you live updates from in and around the city. So this morning, like you said earlier, I'm at the airport intersection, and I've come to realize something. You know, with the advent of COVID, we thought when we were forced to work from home and only come out for only essential items, one would have thought we would have learned a few lessons, perhaps how to work from home. Because from the traffic situation we are seeing presently, it's like everybody wants to drive to work, everybody wants to go about their business. It's the only way they can hustle and make ends meet. So if we can go back maybe and get some lessons from we learned back in the day when we were forced to stay at home, it will help the situation. Because I believe once we get to work from home, for example, it helps to abate the traffic situation that we see. So presently, from what you can see behind me, you can tell for commuters coming from that corridor, the traffic has picked up for them, and you can tell later in the day it will be quite heavy in this area. So what you can see are those who are coming from Spanner Junction, they are coming from Shashi, going all the way towards Legon and Medina, going as far back as Adenta as well. For road commuters who are using this corridor this morning, if you are using the main road, you are fine. I wouldn't suggest you use any alternative routes, because sometimes the main road is your best bet. No need to go and pass elsewhere to avoid traffic. Presently, the traffic lights and everything are working, so if you are using the main road, you are sorted. It will be steady flowing traffic for you. Even though you'll be held up, it wouldn't take as much time as you should. For those on the side, you can see they don't have that much of a traffic situation. For them, also joining the main road, it will be good for them. So for those who are coming from that area as well, they're also fine. And then I would like to draw your attention now to the bus stop you can see in front of you. You can tell the cocoa seller is also going about making some brisk money and all that. The business is going smoothly at the moment. When we arrived here earlier, there were a number of people who were surrounding her, who were trying to get some breakfast so that they can get some energy for the day. There are also some passengers also waiting for vehicles to take them towards their various destinations. And at the moment, they are not struggling too much to get vehicles. On the opposite side, you can tell there isn't that much traffic for those who are heading towards Medina or Accra Mall and its environs. For them, they only face a little bit of stoppage at the Opebia traffic light, and then it's free flowing for them. If they are going as far as Atomic, then they may face traffic when they get to those areas. But for now, it's free flowing for them. So for those at the airport area, okay, you won't be able to see, I don't know if you can see the roundabout from here. You tell there's a little bit of traffic for those who are coming from Polo Heights and Spintex who are heading towards the main road here. But once they get to your traffic light, there's no stoppage for them. So for those who are using the opposite side, heading towards Marina Mall, it's okay for them. So on the opposite side, once again, you can see what I'm referring to. the road is free flowing for everyone who is using that side. You can saw there are some passengers waiting to board vehicles, and I'm not sure how much of a struggle they will face, but for them it's fine as well. So in terms of rush hour updates this morning from the airport intersection, this is what I have for you. Back to you, Val, in the studio.
Thank you, Jay. And that was my colleague Jay, who came to us from the airport intersection area with traffic updates. And Jay's advice is that use the main road because there are traffic lights. The main road is free flowing, and it's better to use the main road than to use an alternative road. We are live and piping hot on all our social media handles. We are live on Facebook, we are live on Twitter, we are live on YouTube, and we are live also on Instagram. Remember to follow the hashtag GTV Breakfast. Not just follow the hashtag, but follow CAF T and myself, share our videos, share our stuff, and also invite people to follow the traffic on our page because, hey, GTV Breakfast is the new. This show is made possible by Adonko Next Level Energy Drink, Awake Purified Water, Shield Acrylic Paint, and Cheesy Pizza. Kaf is gonna tell you cheesy pizza question for today, and remember later on when I have that sit down on my side of the couch, the yellow couch, that side is sponsored by Airtel Tigo. We are now connecting to my colleague Alan. Alan is around the Danquat Circle area, and he's doing this with, today is International Day of the Girl Child, also Day of Girls, and he's doing this with Frances and Frances. Okay, you can see them on our screens now. Alan, yeah, hot. What are you keeping an eye on? I see.
Hi, good morning, Valerie. Well, welcome to the International Day of the Girl Child, version of Rush Hour. And as you mentioned earlier, I'm with my special presenter, Frances Enam Atakpa, who is going to take over from me and bring us a traffic update from the Danquat Circle, also in the Greater Accra region. Hello, Frances. Welcome and take it over from me.
There is a few traffic going towards Circle and coming.
Thank you very much. As Frances has mentioned, there is a little traffic, very little traffic towards Circle and also coming on from Circle. But we're going to run over towards the Danquat Circle, and then Frances is going to tell us what we can see and what to look forward for. Frances, we're looking at Danquat Circle towards Oxford Street. What can you tell us?
There are a few cars going there too and coming back.
Is it very busy on that side?
No, please.
Okay, so we're going to go over towards Laboni, and from Laboni headed for Circle and part of the Oxford Street as well as Cantonment. Frances, do we have traffic coming in from Laboni towards Circle and also the Oxford Street?
Yes, please.
What does it look like?
It looks like there are a lot of cars going to Circle.
There's a lot of cars. And do we have congestion around there?
No, please.
Not at all. Thank you so very much. Okay, so we're going to pan around towards Cantonment, and Frances is going to tell us what we see around Cantonment. As my camera goes into Cantonment or pan towards Cantonment, Frances is going to tell us if there's traffic or no traffic at all around Cantonment. Frances, what do we have on Cantonment?
We have a little traffic there.
Right. And do you have congestion? Is it slow? Is it moving fast?
No, it's moving a little fast.
It's moving a little fast. So if someone is driving towards Cantonment, do they have to be in a hurry or they can take their time?
They should take their time.
Frances, it's International Day of the Girl Child. What would you tell girls like yourself who are watching us this morning?
Today is the International Day of the Girl Child. And then girls are supposed to go to school. They shouldn't sell outside, but they have to go to school to go and learn and also become what they want to become in future.
Fantastic. Frances, just before we go away, there are some girls watching us this morning, and there are some of them in the studio as well who are also presenting just like yourself this morning. If there is something they need to know about traffic this morning, what will you tell them?
I have to tell them that they have to take their time while driving, because if they rush, you can get an accident. whilst they are going.
Thank you very much. Valerie, coming back to you in the studio, Frances is saying to all our commuters this morning, take your time, do not rush. It's slow-moving traffic and you'll get to your destination in time. Patience means no accident. This has been Rush Hour, the International Day of the Girl Child version, coming to you live from the Dankwa Circle, Osu, in the Greater Accra region. It's still hashtag GTV Breakfast. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alan. And so that was Alan, my colleague, and our co-presenter, Francis Enam, who came to us with traffic updates from the Dankwa Circle area. Today is International Day of the Girl Child, also the Day of Girls. And so we here at GBC, we're celebrating the day with a plethora of amazing young women in studio to help us co-host our programs today, guys. So remember to send in your comments, your conversations and your submissions to GTV Breakfast on all our social media handles. We'll take a quick break before we meet Kaf and his amazing, beautiful women in studio. We'll take a break on a music video just because we did Rush Hour at Dankwa Circle, guys. Here's a music video titled Dankwa Circle.
London.
I'm feeling vibes on
some free pizzas, okay? All you need to do is tell us what day is being celebrated worldwide today. And you get some cheesy pizza to go enjoy yourselves. So let us know. 055-556-1034 is the WhatsApp number. Still to come, conversations on, let's see, surveying. And then there's something interesting on lifestyle brought to you by Etta Tigo with Val and her young guest, Kukwa. So stay with us. Show brought to you by Are We Drinking Water? You buy a bottle of this, 1 peso out of it goes to the National Cardiothoracic Center. Shield acrylic paint, Adonko Next Level Energy Drink. We've got My Bet Africa holding us down. Remember the bonus code GTV to enjoy all kinds of games. You get 100% of your money back. Kaftan by Stallion Outlook, Premier Kaftan Tailors. And let me ask one question before we go into the headlines. Do you feel insulted when someone calls you a villager? I'm curious. Let me know. Okay, that's my question for the day. We got straight to our program right now. Headlines on this morning that we celebrate International Day of the Girl Child, and I have some young women who have joined us from the University of Ghana. So to my extreme left, we have Rebecca Winfield, who is aspiring to be General Secretary of the SRC at the University of Ghana. Rebecca, good morning. Good to have you here.
Good morning.
And sitting next to her is Priscilla Asantewa Aye, who wants to be called Madam President as far as the SRC at UG is concerned. Priscilla, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you all here. And what's it like being a student politician? Priscilla.
Well, being a student politician, I would say it feels great. And then you get to learn a lot, especially what happens at the national level. So you start from the students level, and before you get out there, you know a lot, and you know how to interact, and then go about your stuff and all that. So, yeah.
Would you like to be president of Ghana one day?
Yes.
So you are starting from SSC?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Rebecca, what's the best thing about being a girl child?
The many opportunities that come with it. At a point, it feels like there's a diminishing view about it, but when you look at the bright side, you see there are so many opportunities that you can utilize. So ideally, there are many opportunities that come with it.
Okay. Yes. All right. Nice one. Okay, good. So my guests are here, Rebecca and Priscilla, aspiring politicians. They're going to look at the stories in the news. One of the big trends, starting from Friday all the way till now, really, is the whole public debate about the LGBTQI++ and all of that. And so the legislator, MP for Ningo Prampram, Sam George, is in the spotlight. He had an interesting interview on CNN. And Mr. Akoto Ampao is heading the anti-LGBTQ bill group. So a couple of the newspapers have covered this story. Ghanaian Times says, controversial anti-gay bill, public debate heats up. And Daily Graphic says, Afarijan Domahini kick against LGBTQI+. Is this debate raging on campus as well? I'll start with you, Rebecca. What are the conversations people are having on campus about the LGBTQI+ bill?
Yeah, ideally it's been something that is going on in the air for a while, and then from the University of Ghana it's not different. Ideally it comes up in even most of the classes, most of the talk shows, Radio Universe, and the other, every group that you see people in, you hear a lot of people talking about it. I believe it's something that most people are talking about because it's actually new to our own setting, which is Ghana. We are not used to these ways of living or this new introduction into our way of being. But ideally, it's actually a good topic to talk about. Hopefully, we'll get to a resolution one day. Yes.
Why do you think it's a good topic to talk about?
Okay, ideally, when something comes up, we always have to sit, talk about it, and have the opposing views, and probably result to a conclusion or a resulted view that is going to favor at least, or if not at least. So ideally, it's a good topic to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah.
How controversial is it on campus, Priscilla?
Okay, so you have students on campus debating about this topic and all that. Some for the motion, others not. Personally, I'm not for it. I'm against it because some people would say it's their rights, but you know, I'm a Christian, I'm a child of God, and then I would say I do the things of God. So if the person I worship says he's against it, who am I? So it's something being discussed on campus, opposing views, some for it, some against it, and all that. So
What would your response be to somebody who's gay or lesbian but also says they are Christian or Muslim? How would you vibe with a person like that?
Well, I would vibe with you and have like a cordial relationship with you, but when it comes to those stuff, you need to have limitations. But I think you wouldn't be a Christian and be a gay or a lesbian, because they frown against it. And even with the Muslims, they're against it, they frown against it. So you can't tell me that maybe a Muslim or a Christian and you are a gay or lesbian and all that. Yeah.
But you know that you have churches who marry homosexuals.
Not in Ghana.
Not in Ghana,
No,
but
yeah.
around the world. And so there are people who claim that they are religious, they are Muslim or Christian, but are also homosexual. You think there's a mismatch there somewhere, Rebecca?
Yeah, I believe there's a bit of a confusion in there, because as Priscilla rightly said, the Bible largely frowns on it. It's just more or less like the new perceptions of our way of being that try to suit it. Even in Sodom and Gomorrah, even in way times past, it was frowned upon. So in our contemporary times, it's not something that we should actually look up to.
So I'm looking at today's daily graphic. Dr. Afarijan, who's our former EC boss, and a traditional ruler, Domahini, they have described, they say you cannot describe homosexual practices, it cannot be justified on the grounds of human rights. So the former EC boss and the chief say it was preposterous for anyone to hide behind the impotent arguments of human rights to advocate the tolerance or acceptance of such practices. They claim there's no justification. They don't think same-sex marriage can be justified on the grounds of human rights. But then you also see on the front page of today's Ghanaian Times, Mr. Akoto Ampa, who's a lawyer, and he and a whole bunch of academics, a lot of them from the University of Ghana, are on this. They are against this bill. How are students perceiving these lecturers who are on this? I know Professor Gajekpo and a whole bunch of people are on this, a lot of UG intellectuals. Is there any tension on campus? Are students thinking, how can you be against something that a lot of people are against? Priscilla?
Okay, so on campus at the moment, there's a bit of tension concerning this LGBT, but the students are, I would say some are for it and some are not for it. So the lecturers who are against it, some students are seeing them as, wow, those students who are against the LGBT, they are encouraging the teachers or the lecturers to, they are happy that they are against it. But those who are already practicing it on campus wouldn't be happy about something like this, because they feel it's their rights. But then if it's practiced out there, I think it shouldn't be practiced in Ghana, because we should frown and be against it, because there are so many implications that comes with it and all that. But they are saying it's their rights, but I feel, well, the way the world is going now and modernization and all that is making all these things like spring up in the country and all that. So I feel the students on campus, those who are against it and the lecturers are against, they are backing them and all that. But
are they very vocal?
Yes.
How do they express their opposition? Okay,
so there's a group on campus that usually discuss about stuff happening in the country and all that. So and on campus as well. So on that platform, on that page, those who are against it and for it really speak that this and why you should be against it, and those for it too, they also air their views and all that. So they are very vocal about it, and majority are not for it.
Okay. Yes. But do you know any students who are gay, and have you heard from them about what's going on?
Ideally,
do you know any?
Yes, I chanced on one.
Okay.
I have not had a personal chat with the person to affirm as to whether this is someone that we all know, or does this particular cause, or this is the name of that person. But ideally, as to the reason why the person might choose to indulge in that act is quite a bit of mystery, because to some extent it doesn't even sit right. At least there should be a negative and a positive to have a sort of attraction. We can't have positive. So ideally, it's not. You're
bringing chemistry and things into the situation now. Have you had a chance to speak to people who you know are homosexual?
Yes. But sometimes bringing up the whole question, even with them, seems a bit of inconvenience and a bit uncomfortable.
For you or for them?
For them, sometimes it does, because not everybody wants to speak about it. Most of these people who engage in that act feel it's something that they don't feel very comfortable talking to people with, because in our contemporary times, or in Ghana, it's not something that is accepted. So even the risk of somebody having to talk to you about it is a bit risky. Just on slim occasions that you have people coming to you to confide in you, this is what is happening, this is how I feel. But then ideally, it's not something that is widely spoken about from my perspective. Yes, something spoken about from the people who indulge in it.
Okay. So, President, do you have some of these students come up to you and say they feel threatened by this conversation and the way that it looks like Ghanaians are very much against it, and they are feeling that listen, my security could be at risk, I could be in danger, judging from the kind of environment that has been created about this conversation?
Okay, I would say in level 100, there was one time I chanced on these people, I think the lesbians. But
you chanced on them doing what?
Let me say, they were almost in the act.
Okay.
But then they just saw me, and then they had to, you know, be normal and like go back to their various positions and all that. Yes. So I have a friend on campus, and I would say she's into something like that. But then sometimes I don't blame them, because what led them into that was somebody introduced her into such acts. And I don't know, to me, I feel there's a spirit behind this lesbianism and all that.
You're spiritualizing the thing.
Because those who are in it, some would really want to come out of it, but it's hard, it's difficult. Some have gone through consultations and all that, but yes, they are in the acts. And let me use the transgenders for example like this. There are some males going to females and females going to males, not because they wanted to. It was because of society. Some were mocked at, laughed at. You know, there are some girls, I'm not defending them, but then I'm trying to understand them, even though I'm against it. There are some ladies, for instance, that they act like guys or men. It's not intentional, it's a natural thing. But when they're in school, for instance, they would be mocked at and laughed at. So because of that, they'll say, well, I want to trans into a male or something like that.
You know any Ghanaians like that who have converted from male to female?
Okay. No.
Okay.
Yes, but I'm sure people are thinking of all that.
Doing things like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't blame them, because even, let me just use the girls going in for plastic surgery, for instance. Some people, it's because of the social stigma and all that. They are being mocked at. They have friends and bringing their spirits and all that down. So if you have somebody experiencing something like that, you give the person thoughts of going into such acts. And some people feel unwanted. They feel, some lesbians, for instance, they're like, maybe they've tried male relationships and all that, and it's not working. So they would be like, let me go in for a female and see how it works. So if it's going on well for her, she stays in it. If not, she comes back, and a whole lot. So you would get people coming to you, speaking to you and all that. Sometimes I don't blame them.
Don't blame them.
Sometimes it's someone to explore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rebecca, I've also read that a lot of the times the homosexuality is poverty inspired or influenced. People don't have money, and then they consent to do to get involved in such relationships, and then it just stays. Have you heard things like this before, that because of money people jump into these activities?
Yes, I would say it's largely poverty inclined, because most of the time it starts from the older generation introducing it to the younger ones for maybe some sort of favors or some sort of pleasures, money, feeding, accommodation, or any other sort. At a point we can actually accumulate it to that, but it shouldn't be the center focus. Yes, somebody may come in to give you something. Oh, I'm a male and you're also a male. Let's engage in this act for 10,000 Ghana cedis, just because you want to suit your preference, maybe for some monies that is very important to you. It's actually something that we can attribute it to.
Okay. Yeah. All right. In case you just joined us, where have you been the last 1.5 hours? Come join us early. We start at 6 o'clock. Today is International Day of the Girl Child. I really should not be working. but I'm here, and I'm having a good time here with Priscilla and Rebecca. Priscilla wants to be the next president of the SRC, UG, and Rebecca is aspiring to be the SRC General Secretary at University of Ghana, my old school. And so they're here looking at the stories. The first story we checked out is the LGBTQI plus debate. Sam George, Akoto Ampao, it's almost like Fury and Wilder, and the conversations are going on. Traditional authorities are kicking against it. Dr. Kokujo Afarajan says, no, it's not a matter of human rights. What are your thoughts? Okay, 05556 1034. Cubana from Kasua says, morning, I still don't understand why this craze about legalizing of LGBTQI plus is going on. We have sex workers and all other groups like that, yet they haven't called for legalization. That's Cubana from Kasua. Good morning. Joel Ayite says, he just loves our show. We love you back, bro. As aspiring leaders, these students who aspire to be leaders do not take a neutral view on the matter. Education is supposed to open up the minds of young people, not keep them closed. Ghana is on an island unto themselves, so is the country to remain close to the changes happening around the world. As aspiring leaders, they should take the lead in having an open conversation on campus. That is what education is about. And this is, if I can find your name, I'll be happy to have it. So I think it's called Monty Evans. He thinks that you should have an open conversation on campus. You agree with Monty?
Yeah.
Even though it's uncomfortable. Yes, those kind of conversations are actually quite good.
Yeah.
Okay, another message here. Well, people are sending responses to my cheesy pizza. You want to eat cheesy pizza early in the morning? Hold on for a while. We'll get the answers for you in a short while. All right, good. All right, so let's go to another story right now in the papers. So this is page 9 in today's Ghanaian Times. There's a story here I want to look at. When I say JOT, what comes to your mind? JOT, J-O-T. The global fight against tobacco has stalled, according to a feature here in today's Ghanaian Times. And there are some very terrible pictures there of a smoker's lungs, which is as dark as my face, and shows you what's going on in the lungs. So global efforts to end smoking have stalled, requiring a drastic overhaul to prevent 1 billion people from dying in this century, according to a new report by 5 leading experts. So 1.14 billion people use tobacco. That's like 1 in 6. Nearly 8 million people die each year of tobacco-related causes. That's like 1 in 4 Ghanaians worldwide, our population. That's people who are dying. And since the creation of the World Health Organization Framework Convention on Tobacco, tobacco demand has declined, but far too slowly. People are still smoking. When was the last time you saw somebody lighting up and smoking? Not ganja, it's tobacco.
Okay, for tobacco now.
Ganja.
And then the one trending now is the shisha and all that.
Okay, on campus.
Yes.
You put the shisha pan.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think there was one time I was going to campaign, and then I entered a room. I was like, wow, the whole place was
shishad.
Yeah.
Which
can't disclose.
You can't disclose the hall.
No.
Okay. And they were cool with it. Is it fashionable? I mean, smoking on campus?
Some students feel it's fashionable. They want to do what's going on, what's trending and all that.
Are you allowed to smoke cigarettes on campus?
No.
You're not allowed?
No.
Okay.
You're not allowed.
All right.
They do it.
Even in the open, I mean, where there's lots of air and you're under a tree.
You're not allowed.
You can't smoke.
You can't.
You've seen that law somewhere?
No.
But how do you know that people are not allowed to smoke on campus?
There's no law that hinders it, but it's not something that is accepted because even in the halls, there's some code of conduct that ideally, even when we see people smoking, it frowns upon the good morals of even being a human. So at least on campus, it's something that people engage in, but hide to do it. So ideally, it's not something right one should even indulge in the first place.
Is shisha allowed on campus?
No, none of these acts. None of them
are allowed.
Yeah.
I'm just curious though, do women smoke on campus?
Smoking alone cannot be attributed to one gender.
Have you met any women smoking on UG campus?
Not on UG campus, at least not from my perspective. I've not chosen one yet. But I've seen, there was one instance I was at a program And I just stepped out to get some fresh air, and then a lady just crept behind there and just started doing her thing.
On campus?
No, it wasn't on campus
okay.
though. I was like, oh wow. So I asked her about it. So how is that? How does it have a new? She said she had actually lived outside the country before, and then coming back, she even feels quite compelled to do so. And most of the time she started doing it because the weather seems quite so cold. So taking
the smoke warms them up.
Yes, from that was her perspective. But then ideally, she even coming back to Ghana, and even with this hot weather and the other conditions that come in, she's not able to stop. So it becomes something that becomes inherent to you if you do not stop. So ideally, it even has so many health complications that comes with it. So yeah.
Do you know any people who smoke on campus, like your classmates? you know, couple. You don't have to name them. You know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
men.
Men.
You know any women who smoke?
Personally, my friends know, but then I'm sure there are women on campus who smoke. Yeah.
Why do you think it's the fight against the tobacco is not progressing the way it should be? Why do you think authorities are finding it hard to reduce the number of people who smoke?
You see, no matter how hard you try to limit the number of people who smoke, the individuals are not willing and ready to accept it. So when it comes, it's like you bringing up a law to a group of people for them to follow or obey, and definitely you get some people who are not disciplined. They will go against it. Even with the LGBT, for instance, even though it's not accepted in Ghana yet, so it's practiced by some people. So definitely you get some people who are recalcitrant and then be doing otherwise.
Okay. How can the authorities intensify the fight against smoking, considering that tobacco brings a lot of revenue to the government, inelastic demand and all that stuff? I'm dredging my FUE economics, but money is coming from tobacco producers, but people are also falling sick. How do you square that circle?
How do you square it? It's something that it has its even health complications. So though we are getting revenue, yes, you are getting revenue to build hospitals, to even cater for people's health. So why would you want to generate a higher revenue to even cater more for the health aspect of it, whilst you can even encourage people not to do so? Ideally, there are other aspects of goods and services that can also bring in more revenue. So we can look at the other side of it aside tobacco. That's my perspective about it.
Okay, so confession time. Commonwealth for 1992. I was 21. I tried to smoke. That was my first and my last. I coughed like a train. The people laughed at me for like a week, and I didn't go anywhere near a stick of jot again. I remember my father used to smoke, but he used to always step out of the house, go and do his smoking, then come back. Because of my mother was an asthmatic, all that kind of stuff. And it's very, very addictive. People smoke for 30, 40 years. And well, I feel for those who are addicted. But hey, it's a health thing, and if you can try, please try and stop. No jot, hashtag no jot on hashtag GTV breakfast with my guests from hashtag UG. You talk a little bit about your campaigns when you're ending.
Sure.
All right? Okay, they're happy. Okay, when you say jot, it is cigarette that comes to mind. Late Professor Mills didn't agree to the pressure of the LGBTQI, same as President Mahama. But when Uncle Nana said it is bound to happen, you think that he has paved the way, and you feel that he should be rejected. What is good, and what is bad, is bad. Daniel Eduji from Hebron. But Nana is not going for a third term, so you can't even reject him. He's sitting there to 2024.
He's done.
To 2025, January 6th, 11:59. He's there, so you can't even go that way. Okay. Let's talk about something that you will be doing pretty soon. And it's not just elections, but when you finish school, hopefully you'll do your national service.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, good. Today's daily graphic looks at national service and their deeper collaboration with institutions. Page 16, International Day of the Girl Child edition of Breakfast headlines. So the NSS is ready to support institutions lacking qualified members of staff with the requisite professionals who assist those institutions to enhance their operations and make them more effective and profitable. Big paragraph, breaking it down. NSS is going to work with companies to give them people to do their work. So today actually marks the beginning of national service for all of you who are out there and are wondering, get to work and serve the nation. Starts today. Are you looking forward to national service when you graduate? When you graduate, by the way, really?
Next year.
Next year, okay.
2022.
Yeah, and then maybe next year by this time we'll be talking about national service, right?
Yes.
Yes. Looking forward to it. Have you done it before?
No.
No. This is going to be your first time.
Yeah, my first time.
Yeah. So looking forward to it.
Yes.
If they fly you off to Kulungugu, why Kulungugu in Burkina Faso? Wouldn't you go?
Well, okay, it depends on where I would be placed, but then I would be very glad if I'm in Accra.
Why? Don't the people in Kulungugu deserve your services?
Okay, they do.
Yeah.
They do, all right. But, okay, I don't care where I'm being placed.
Okay.
Yes, I don't care, but because it's service to the nation.
Yes.
And then it's more like showing appreciation and all that. So, wherever I'm placed, I'll be fine. Go. But, you know.
You prefer Accra?
Yeah.
What's your program? What are you studying?
Economics and accounting.
These subjects are required anywhere in this country. Anywhere in this country, you need economics, you need accounting. They take it to my village of Achito in the Volta region, you go and go and eat some good 1,000 and eat good diet and have good fresh air by the lagoon.
I would.
You go?
Yeah, I'll go.
All right. Rebecca, national service, looking forward to it?
Yeah, likely. It's a nice experience. Speaking from an internship I had at the Ministry of Lands and Resources, having a chance to serve or being in the front of the governance or the workforce is an experience on its own, because it's a chance to serve. You are serving not ideally for the amount of money or for the pleasures that come with it, but the experience before you even start getting a job of your own is something that is even meant for a lifetime.
So you like the interning experience?
Yes, yes,
Was that the only place you interned? Or you've interned other places as well?
Yes, please.
Where else have you interned?
Yes, I interned at my sister's place, Red Butterfly Hat and Craft too as well. It's just a craft that we do military. So I intend there too as well to learn a craft for myself.
Hats?
Yes, hat and fascinators.
Okay, nice.
Yes,
nice,
yes.
Nice.
Yes.
You, have you interned before?
Yes.
Priscilla, where did you do?
African Internship Academy.
Okay.
It's at Matayeko.
Okay.
So what we're doing there is we're evaluating businesses for funds, more like they needed loans from the government. So what we did was you bring your business, we evaluate it. If you qualify for it, then we give you the money from the government.
The economics and accounting of
Yes.
What's your subject before we go too far?
I do political science and classics.
Okay, nice.
Yes.
Nice. Aristotle and all those guys.
Exactly.
Beautiful. She's not a philosopher, but she has a philosophy of shoes. I had a